We are still in lesson 25.1 talking about multiplying binomials, but we're going to start out on our note sheet today talking about the distributive property, and this is method 2. We've been using the distributive property since the first trimester, so hopefully this isn't super new to you and it's kind of a review. But my number outside of my parentheses is 3. We are going to distribute that to the x and to the 4. And what that means is we are going to multiply. So 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 4 is 12, and that's our final answer. For question 2, I have a 2y out in front, and I'm going to multiply that to each term in the parentheses. So 2y times y is 2y squared. 2y times negative 5 is negative 10y. We don't have any like terms here to combine, so that would be our final answer. Next, I have 6z times 2z squared. 6 times 2 is 12. Z, 1 plus 2 is 3. Then we're going to multiply 6z times 4z. 6 times 4 is 24. Z times z. These have little 1s here, remember? And 1 plus 1 is 2. Then we're going to multiply it by negative 3, so we get negative 18z. So that is the distributive property. Now, we can also use the distributive property, but another way to say it is called FOIL, F-O-I-L. But FOIL can only be used when we're multiplying two binomials, so a 2 by 2. So FOIL doesn't work on every question like the box method does. But FOIL is an acronym that tells us the order in which we multiply the terms. So the F stands for first, O is outside, I is inside, L is last. And this essentially is the same thing as the distributive property. So I'm going to take this x, and I need to multiply it by the first term in the second set of parentheses. So basically, I'm distributing x times x. What is x times x? It's x squared. Okay. Now I'm also going to take this x, and I'm going to multiply it by the negative 6. Distribute it to negative 6. Those are my two most outer terms. They're on the outsides, right? They're furthest left and furthest right. So x times negative 6 is negative 6x. Then I need to take this 2 and distribute it to both terms. So my two inside terms that are really close together are 2 times x, which is a positive 2x. And then I need to take this 2 and distribute it to the negative 6. 2 and negative 6 are listed last in my parentheses, so that's why we call it the last terms. 2 times negative 6 is negative 12. Now, we're going to combine our like terms here. Just like we did in the box method, our two x terms are our like terms, and we need to combine them together. So we're going to leave the x squared. Negative 6, and this is a positive 2x. Negative 6 plus 2x is negative 4x. And then bring down my negative 12. And this is my answer. It's a trinomial, and it's in standard form. I have x squared and then I have an x and a constant term at the end. Okay, so FOIL is essentially the same thing as the distributive property, but it's a way to walk us through the steps, and it only works with a binomial times binomial. 2 terms by 2 terms. So let's do it again. I'm going to multiply my first terms in the parentheses, which is m times m, so that's m squared. My 2 outside terms, furthest left and furthest right, is m times 4, so that's 4m. My inside terms close together is 3 times m, that's 3m. And 3 times 4, those are the last terms listed, is 12. Okay. Now, if it helps you, these were all positive, so you can put addition signs in between if that helps. Then don't forget, these are like terms, so we need to combine them together. M squared plus 7m plus 12. Okay, I want you to try the next set of parentheses, 2x minus 3 times 2x plus 4. See what you can come up with. So we're multiplying. My first terms is 2x times 2x. 2 times 2 is 4. X times x is x squared. 2x times 4 is 8x. Negative 3 times 2x is negative 6x. Negative 3 times 4 is negative 12. My like terms are right here in the middle. There are x terms. So I have a positive 8 minus 6, so we get 2. And that would be our final answer. Now, this is just another method or another tool in your toolbox on how to multiply binomials. You could still choose to use the box method every single time if that is what you prefer and that works for you. If not, you can think about foiling or the distributive property. So go ahead and open your book to page 372. We skipped question 12, so now we're going to come back to it. For 12, A, B, and C, I want you to choose whatever method you prefer, either the box method or FOIL/distribute, and I want you to come up with your answer for all 3 of these questions. Now, before you do that, you might want to write these out as 2 binomials. So this is 2 plus x multiplied by itself twice. So go ahead and do A, B, and C. You can ignore this part after you write it out. For question A, I'm going to FOIL or distribute. So first, 2 times 2 is 4. Outside, 2 times x. Inside, x times 2. Last is x times x, which is x squared. Now I have like terms here. They're my middle x terms. And this isn't in standard form, so I'm going to convert it to standard form, which means my x squared has to come first. And my x's, 2 plus 2 is 4. And then my constant term, the number by itself, comes at the end. Letter B, I'm going to use the box method, and it's a 2 by 2, x plus 3, x plus 3, write them on the tops and the sides. And now we're going to multiply x times x is x squared. X times 3 is 3x. 3 times x is 3x, and 3 times 3 is 9. Now, what you notice about A and B is that when I multiply, I have 4 terms, right? I wrote out 1, 2, 3, 4 terms in question A, and in question B, I have 4 terms in these 4 squares or boxes. But now, when we combine our like terms, we end up with 3 terms. So again, my like terms are the diagonals, which are my x's. So x squared, 3 plus 3 is 6, plus 9. And that would be my final answer. If you didn't do question C yet, make sure you pause the video. You can use the box method or you can FOIL. So first is x times x, which is x squared. Outside, my inside terms, 6 times x, and my last terms, 6 times 6 is 36. In the middle are my 2 like terms. They both have x's, so I'm going to combine them together. 6 plus 6 is 12. And this is in standard form because I have an x squared, then an x, then a constant term. Page 374. Take a look at question 18. I want you to work on A through F. If you don't have enough room, use the My Notes section of your book on any of these pages, or you can get a lined piece of paper, a scrap piece of paper, and you are going to determine the product by multiplying. Again, it's your choice. You need to decide what works best for you. You can use the box method, or you can FOIL. You could also switch back and forth. It's totally up to you. Go ahead and work on A through F. Pause the video, please. Go ahead and check your answers for A, B, C, and D. When I look at these questions, I notice that they all have x's and 7s and 5s with a different combination of positives and negatives. So all of these questions were very similar, and so are their answers, but the book is showing you that your signs matter here, so pay attention to your signs. Okay, in letter A, they were both negative. In C, they were both positive, and look at the difference in the answer. In B, the 7 was negative, 5 was positive. D, 7 was positive, 5 is negative, and we get two different answers here. So similar answers, but different because of the signs. If you have not done E and F yet, go ahead and pause the video, and I want you to try those, either using FOIL or the box method. Four x times x is 4x squared. 1 times x, 4x times 3. 3 times 1 is 3. Remember, we're multiplying to get what's inside the box, and then after we either add or subtract our diagonals, which are our like terms. So 4x squared plus 13x plus 3. And I'll use the box method one more time. I'm going to put my 2x minus 1 here, 3x and a positive 2 up there. 3 times 2 is 6. 2 times 2 is 4. Negative 3x and negative 2. And then again, my like terms are on my diagonals here, and I need to add these or subtract these now that I've done the multiplication. Six x squared plus 1x minus 2. On the next page, 375, we're going to do two questions in the check your understanding box. So we're going to take a look at number 21 and 22. You can use any blank space on that page or the My Notes section. This is the only two questions we're doing on this page. So go ahead and pause the video. Think about FOIL or distributing or the box method, and use your notes to help you if you need it. First, outside. So I distributed the x and the 2, and now I need to distribute the 7. That's my inside term. And I'm going to distribute the 7 again, which are my last two terms. Here are my like terms here that I'm going to combine. There's my final answer. And I'm going to use FOIL again, but if you use the box, that's totally fine. First, distribute the x through. Distribute the x again to the outside. Inside terms last. Combine my two middle x terms. Negative 2 plus 21 is a positive 19. And there's my final answer, and these are both written in standard form.